Okay, we are now at the bottom of page 395, adding a header and footer, changing the margins, and printing the workbook. Okay, now let's flip over to page 396. And item number 1 says, with the consolidated sheet active, which is the one I have, the tab will turn mostly white. There's a little colored stripe down at the bottom, but mostly the selected sheets are white. And if necessary, scroll to the top of the worksheet. There we are. While holding down the Shift key, click the Parks and Recreation tab to select the 4 worksheet tabs. So do a shift and a click, and they all turn white. Also, notice up here at the top it says group in square brackets. That's another way of knowing that you've got multiple sheets selected. And we want to display the page layout tab, which is right here. And then we want the page setup dialog box. Well, this is the page setup group, and to get the dialog box for that group, you go to this little button down here called the dialog box launcher and click on it. And we want the margins tab, and on the top we want 1.5, and you can type that in or you can just bounce on the arrow. On the left and the right we want 0.5. Whoops, I might have to type that one in here. 0.5. And we're going to leave the bottom the way it is, and click the horizontally checkbox here so it's centered left to right on the page, and click the OK button, and we've just formatted all 4 of those. Anytime you want to apply any formatting to multiple sheets, if you select them all and apply the formatting, then you only have to do it once instead of once for each sheet. Okay, now let's go down to the bottom of page 397. It says to add a header and a footer. Click the page layout button. We're already there. We want to switch over here to our page layout view. And if we do that, it shows us basically, it's a print preview here. It shows you what it's going to look like when you print it out. Now let's turn to page 398. And it says, if necessary, scroll up to the header area here, and notice they've got divided up into 3 parts for you. And in the left header, we're going to put our name. And click in the center header text box, and we're going to type city. And I'm going to do enter. You don't need to do an alt enter there. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to insert the date and the time. And if I want the date, this button will put the date in. There's a little code there that the Excel recognizes. And we can put in the time. There's another little code. Excel will replace those with the date and the time when we actually print things out. And because we've got 2 separate codes here, we probably don't want to run them together, so put a comma and a space in between. And then we're going to scroll down to the footer area here. Okay, let's go down to the footer. And in the middle footer section, we're going to put in a code. Let's go back up here. I lost my design tab, but go back up to the header and footer tools, click on design. And what we want down here is the page, the word page, and then a space. And then we want the page number, and so put in a code there, and then a space, and then the word of, and then a space. And then we want the total number of pages there. So we're mixing some text in with the code. And it says click anywhere to deselect the footer. And go back to normal view. So normal view is our button down here in the lower right. And display the page layout tab, and then click the page setup dialog box launcher, which is this button right here again. And now we've got the page setup dialog box, and we want to do a print preview. And now we get what's called backstage view. And check out the header and the footer. And if I work my way through by clicking on my sheets or my scroll bar over here, it'll work me through the sheets. And notice down at the bottom they're numbered page 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, 4 of 4. And now let's go back to the Home tab after doing our print preview. And let's go back up to the top here. And at the bottom of page 399 it says to print. We're not handing anything in, so we don't need to print. Same thing at the top of page 401. You can read the information about how to print, but we're not handing in printouts, so we'll skip over that. Now we're on page 402. I want the consolidated sheet to be active, so if you got a bunch of them selected like I had here a second ago, if you click on one of the end ones, nothing, I guess it's just the first one. If you click on the first one, nothing happens, but if you click on any one of the other ones, it'll remove the group selection, and then you can click on each worksheet that you want. So I want the consolidated one, and it says I want B10 to be selected, and then I want to go to the page layout tab, and it says click the breaks button, which is right here, and what we want to do is we want to insert a page break. And what it does is it inserts a page break right there. And if you go to a print preview now, it's going to look pretty funny. Let's go back here and do a print preview. And yeah, that's not really, doesn't look very good. But it's showing us, and by the way, we just had the first page selected, so it's just showing us the first page. But because the cursor was right here, it draws a line above it, a dotted line above it, and to the left of it, and it puts a vertical page break and a horizontal page break. So this stuff will be page, whoops, I didn't want all that stuff over there. This stuff will be down to here, will be page 1. From here, including the heading, over to here will be page 2. Then I've got this for page 3, and then I've got this stuff for page 4. We didn't really want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our breaks menu, and we're going to choose remove page break. Okay. And now at the top of page 403, we want to go to backstage view, which is just clicking, another way of saying clicking on the file tab, and click the options button in the backstage view to display the Excel options dialog box. So let's go here, and here's the Excel options dialog box. We want the advanced options over here on the left, and we want to scroll down until display options for this worksheet. So let's just scroll down here, and here's the group that we're talking about. It says click the show page breaks right here, and I'm going to turn that off, and it will not show the page breaks for me, which actually can be kind of distracting sometimes. And click on the OK button to close the box, and we're now at the top of page 404, and that's the end of that section, so we'll quit.